Welcome back to the Hive Doctor, your beekeeping mentor. It's my job to take the guesswork out of beekeeping for you so that you can enjoy it and have fun. Today we're going to be talking about our beekeeping goals for 2024. What are your goals? Have you ever actually made any goals in your beekeeping operation? Today I'm going to be showing you some examples of my goals so that you can get an idea of perhaps what you should be doing or want to do. And in the meantime, go ahead and start putting down in the comments below what your goals are for this year. I can't wait to read them. And I can't wait to share mine with you now, so stick around. All right, today we're talking about our goals as beekeepers in 2024. Right now it's midwinter, great sunny day, beautiful time to be out here making a video for you. And I brought you here to this particular location, one of several, for a specific reason, and it's to show you exactly what one of my primary goals are for this year. You notice behind me I've only got 4 beehives, and there's a bare fence around them as well, and that bare fence only has a certain amount of room in it. And so what I'm getting at is this particular yard can only hold 12 beehives comfortably. And so I actually need to triple my numbers in this yard to fill every hole. Right now I've got room for 8 more beehives. So my primary goal this year is not just in this yard, but all of my apiary locations, is to fill those holes up and to grow my operation to the number of beehives that I want to keep. So years ago when I was mentoring as an apprentice in Florida, we ran between 200 and 300 hives, and that was definitely a full-time 2-man operation for us anyways. A lot of other commercial beekeepers came to that area of Florida from other parts of the country to winter their bees, and a lot of them ran thousands of hives. It was an incredible thing to see, to experience, and really be exposed to what happens in the beekeeping industry. But since I've been here in the North Georgia mountains, I've decided how many hives I want to keep that are comfortable for me and that support my goals. And that's going to be roughly around 70 beehives. I might change that goal in the future, you never know. That's one of the beautiful things about making our goals, is that no matter what we set as goals, we can always tweak them, add to them, take away, modify. Beekeeping is our world, and we get to do what we want with it. Each of my yards has 4-way hive stands. In other words, they hold 4 hives each. I've got one here, one in the middle, and one on the far side. And it doesn't have any beehives on it. So I've got room for 4 beehives there, 1 in the middle, and 3 on the very end here. So this spring, I'm going to be setting my hives up in order to make splits. And that's exactly what I'm getting at when it comes to making beekeeping goals for yourself. When you've got goals, it helps to dictate what tasks you need to do as a beekeeper in order to accomplish what you want. So knowing what I want, which is more beehives, and knowing that I'm going to be splitting them to get more beehives, it tells me that while it's midwinter right now, I need to start working on getting equipment ready for splitting those bees. It means I'm going to need bottom boards for each of them, deep hive bodies filled with frames, which I already have. I'm going to need honey supers for each of them. I have those in my shed right now, ready to be built, which means they are going to need frames built and filled into those. And each of those boxes are going to need primed and painted. So there's a lot to do for a beekeeper during the wintertime. And as I've always said, one of the biggest keys to successful beekeeping is planning ahead, thinking one season ahead and anticipating those needs now. So I can get started so that by the time it's time to make my splits, I'm ready instead of fumbling around, getting things clean, ready, painted. You get the idea. I'm going to let you in on another goal of mine this year. As you can see behind me, I've got some hive covers that have been in the elements for a while. A lot of the paint's coming off, and this graying that you see is what happens when paint doesn't last and it starts to become weathered by the sun. Now this is an older style migratory cover of mine. I built them all. One of my goals is to replace these with a newer hive cover that I've been building, one that doesn't warp, one that stays straight so that there aren't any gaps between the hive cover and the quilting box or deep hive body on top. So this winter I'm building hive covers, and once they're ready, I'll come across on a warm day closer to the springtime and take these old ones off and put the new ones on. And as you may also be able to see, I've got differing yellow colors. And that was a weird thing with Home Depot. Even though I got ordered the same color paint, one year it was just a different color than the previous one. So one of the things I like to do personally is to keep a consistent color and appearance in my beehives, especially since all of my locations are on host sites. In other words, I have relationships with people who've agreed to let me keep hives on their land, and I pay them rent in honey twice a year, once after each of my harvests. Now the last goal of mine I'm going to share with you today, not that I don't have more, there's definitely a lot on my plate and I enjoy every bit of it, but as you can see behind me, I've got a lot of growth around my bear fence here. One of my goals is to get around each of my yards, and this particular fence is designed to take down very easily. I can mow over all of that. I'm going to reposition my bear fences this year to where I get ideal sun because I rely on solar power. I'm going to be upgrading my systems, putting in posts at each of my sites so that my energizers, my batteries, my solar panels are all up off the ground, out of the elements and covered and safe. And I may even get real fancy and put some of my bee native signs off those posts just to make it look a little bit nicer. I like doing that kind of stuff. And I like maintaining a nice looking area, organized and clean. It makes things easier for me, and it shows the hosts who are generous enough to let me use part of their land that I care and I appreciate what they do for me. Now, if you find it a challenge to figure out how to set goals or where you should even start, I can give you some general places to start. And in fact, they're lessons from the beehive and from the seasons. Right now, being midwinter for me, winter in beekeeping is a time of contemplation, preparation for the upcoming season, cleaning, repairing, painting, building new equipment. So if you're new to beekeeping, you need to be getting your equipment ready and prepared before your bees come, whether you've ordered them in the mail or you haven't ordered them yet or you're going to go pick them up. Either way, you need to have everything ready before the bees get there. Just like having a crib ready before you come back from the hospital with your new baby. Very similar to that. Springtime is a time of growth and expansion. So what that could be telling us as beekeepers is that our bees are growing. Their populations are increasing and they're going to need more room, because not only are their populations increasing and need more room in that regard, but they're going to be making a lot of honey, and they're going to need places to put that, which means even more equipment, having it ready for expansion of your beehive colonies and all the food stores and the honey they're going to make you and for themselves. Summertime is unique in that it's a time that we especially need to make sure that we've got varroa under control, and it's also a season of harvest. Not that you don't harvest other times of the year, but summer in general is known as a time of harvest. The summer, we need to make sure that we have a pest and disease management plan in place, and preferably a preventative one. And since we're going to be harvesting honey, it means that we need to have our equipment and our honey house, which wherever it is that you extract your honey, that needs to be ready. The equipment needs to be clean and ready to go. Fall and winter, that is a time of preparation and making sure that the bees have enough. So the goals, the lessons that could teach us directly correlates with sustainability, sustainable harvests. What does your beekeeping practice look like? Is it a sustainable one? Is it a biodynamic one where it works with nature rather than against it? And if you've got a hard time coming up with goals for yourself, read the comments below and see what other beekeepers have put down there. Ask questions. Say, hey guys, what do you do? I promise you'll get a plethora of answers. So I'd love to hear what some of your goals are this year. And like I said in the beginning of the video, put them down in the comments below. I read every single one of them. I hope all of you have an amazing year with your bees. And if you haven't gotten bees yet, get excited, because when you get them, you're going to start having some fun. And don't forget to come back to the Hive Doctor, because I want to help you along your journey in being a successful beekeeper by taking the guesswork out of it and shortening that learning curve. Don't forget to tell your friends about the Hive Doctor. Drop me one of these, and I'll see you in the next video.